Hey guys, Ailoupup here, and this time it's my May 2016 wrap-up, where I talk about all the books that I read in the month of May 2016. I only read 6 books this month, which kind of surprises me because I thought I had read more than that. Most of them were rereads, but a couple of them were new to me. Starting off, I read Anything for a Friend by Conford, which I had never read but I got many years ago in elementary school from a teacher, sort of. It's about this 11-year-old girl named Wallace Green who has just moved to New York, and she's very angry and upset with her parents because they move around a lot and she doesn't have any friends. I think it's a little bit too young of a book for me. I don't know if I would have liked it at the time when I got it either, because at the time I refused to read anything that wasn't fantasy, which is why I didn't read it then. I rated it a 1 out of 5. I reread Into the Wild by Erin, which I hadn't read since I was probably about 13 or 14, about a house cat named Rusty leaves his home to live in the forest outside of his fence, live among the clan cats, and become an apprentice to a clan known as ThunderClan. I read it at the time because I really like cats, and I do recommend it for others who like cats, or for kids in general. I feel that it does get better as the story progresses, but it has been many years since I've read the other books in the series. For now, I've rated it a 4 out of 5, but I may decide later on to bump it down to a 3. After that, I reread The Bully Boys by Eric Walters, which I originally read for a class project in grade 7, so probably when I was about 12 or so. It takes place during the War of 1812 and follows 14-year-old Thomas Roberts, who is too young to go to war, but soon somehow finds himself fighting next to Lieutenant James Fitzgibbon and his Bully Boys. It's an action-packed adventure that at times I actually found quite humorous, especially some of the things that Lieutenant James Fitzgibbon actually did. And if those things actually took place, that would be quite amazing. He sounds like he would have been an amazing guy. I have given it a 5 out of 5. And then I reread His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik, which at the time I picked up because it has dragons on the front and in the title. It takes place during the Napoleonic Wars and follows Captain Will Lawrence of the Reliant when they capture a rare dragon egg, and suddenly Will Lawrence finds himself not in command of a ship and crew, but of a dragon instead. It's basically a what if dragons existed type of book, and puts an interesting spin on the war. The style of writing was a bit hard to get used to at first, but after a while I did get more into it and I found that I really did enjoy it, so I gave it a 5 out of 5. Next, I reread Bloodhound by Tamora, who is still one of my favorite authors. This book takes place about a year after the events in Terrier, but this time the hunt takes Becca Cooper and her partner Clara Goodwin to Port Kane. If I had to choose a least favorite book in the Becca Cooper series, it would probably be this one. I didn't like the love interest, and most of what I was thinking was basically, what does she see in him? There's also a lot less action-y scenes than what I'm used to in a Tamora book, except for the very beginning and the very end, because Becca and Goodwin are not supposed to be on duty and are playing the part of loose dogs. Finally, there are just not a lot of scenes that I found particularly memorable, and I have given this a 4 out of 5. Finally, I read Lone Wolf by Kathryn Lasky. This was a book I had been meaning to read for a while, and one that I had wanted to read because wolves are some of my favorite animals. It follows the wolf pup Fallon in his first year of living. I can't talk too much about it without giving spoilers, but I will say that I did actually enjoy this book more than I actually thought I would, and I did go a little back and forth about whether to give it a 3 or a 4, but I did finally decide to give it a 4 out of 5. These are the books I read in the month of May, and I'll have reviews up for all of them shortly if they're not up already. Looking at my list of books, I do realize I probably could have read more because my only big book was actually His Majesty's Dragon, but I am a bit of a slow reader as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to come back for more if you liked this one. I only read 6 months. 6 months. I only read 6 books in... I only read 6 months. 6 months. I only read 6 months.